I went with GunzAkimbo, which is a very fun storyline that's far too poignant today. Where I kind of mislabeled it. Sorry, y'all, not trying to catfish you, but we're not doing hardcore. Fuck that. We're going to go to... Good God, The Collective. There we go. Took too long to find that server. Because we talking about some heavy shit, and I'm going to be looking it back and forth from my phone, so because of that, we're going to try our best to make sure not to fuck up. Now, the first story I wanted to report on turned out to be something big, something important, something fucked up, but a big nothing burger because... Let me describe it to you without giving you a place, and you'll see what I mean by nothing burger. A suspect with a long arm, armed with 2 other sidearms, shot up a building in the U.S. Nobody died. Well, I take that back. A police officer died, and no one in the place was hurt. The building is riddled with bullet holes now. We do not know if the suspect died by self-inflicted gunshot or by officer firing on them. Officers want to talk about it, but they have been sworn to secrecy until the investigation is completed. Now, nothing burger? I'd say nothing burger. It's sad someone died. It's not good. It's very, very bad. But what the fuck can we glean from that? It sounds like typical Tuesday in America. Oh, somebody lost their temper and shot up a place? That's not fun. But yeah, it's basic Tuesday in the... Well, basic Saturday in the U.S., unfortunately. Beyond that, I now will tell you where that place was. It was the Center of Disease Control. They were firing from a university called Emory, and they were firing upon the Center of Disease Control. Why? We won't ever know. In other shooting incidents and information, the shooter that shot up the U.S. military base where 5 soldiers died, well, 5 soldiers were injured, I believe 3 died, according to the news report. Apparently, the suspect, before committing this act, texted his family saying that he loved y'all. That's the utmost news from that side. Also, the one who shot the NFL CEO, well, not the NFL CEO, the Blackstone CEO. Yeah, he traveled all the way across. You want to know what Nevada has? An NFL headquarters. He could have shot an NFL head there. What it doesn't have was the CEO to Blackstone. Which, again, if you... And again, not condoning anyone's actions here, y'all. Don't get it twisted. Not what this is meant to be. But if you take the time to go all the way across the U.S. from one side to the other, and you go to the wrong floor to shoot like, according to the news report again, he had brain damage from playing high school football. He wanted to take that problem to the NFL, so he went to the NFL's headquarters with the hopes of killing an NFL CEO. Accidentally went to the wrong floor because when you get to those high-end places, the elevators aren't like a doctor's office where you just pick your... No, it's a very controlled elevator. You hit a button and the elevator goes where it needs to go. So yeah, in theory, he could have just gotten the wrong floor. Maybe the person at the reception desk hit the wrong button because, you know, threat of gun death. Or, hear me out, he knew the CEO to BlackRock was there, and he decided to go murder that bitch. And he did, in fact, murder that bitch. So, once again, GunzAkimbo here in the U.S., my God, we need to work on our door situation. Don't we all? Security in the U.S. is just astounding. All we have is a police team at every single building, and, you know, ready to jump on the response to... It can't be guns, y'all. Never guns. Y'all, put that thought out of your head. Those guns are innocent. No gun has ever been used to kill anybody. It's just negative intentions. You think it's the bullet? No, that bullet isn't propelled by gunpowder and a firing pin. It's propelled by your negative energy and your hatred of the target you're aiming at. That's why nobody's ever accidentally shot anyone, y'all. There's never been an accidental shooting because guns are completely safe. Leave them in the hands of your children. For the sake of brevity and because I know many Americans are just that stupid, I was being sarcastic. Guns are the problem. If we suddenly had a rash of people taking hammers and smashing windows and breaking people's feet, I would say maybe let's limit who gets hammers. But because it's guns, a weapon made to kill people or animals, yeah, maybe we shouldn't allow just every jackass to buy a gun. Maybe we should make it a lot harder to own a gun, considering, again, if they had knives, they could still kill people. People kill people with knives all the fucking time. However, you couldn't kill 27 people in Las Vegas on the Strip during a concert. You couldn't kill 5 trained military personnel. Well, wounding 5 and killing 2 or 3. You could still do things. It'd still be bad, y'all. Knife crimes are a real problem, but you wouldn't have the same level of problems. Where did I put the base? Either way, this is the wind-up for that reason. Also, in other sadder news, if anyone is still alive from the Apollo missions, I believe Neil Armstrong is the last of the bunch. I could be wrong, but either way, we lost another Apollo astronaut. Died peacefully at the age of around 84. A good fellow who I can't seem to pull up the goddamn article on, and I don't remember their names because it wasn't Neil Armstrong. Sorry, Neil, though you're the one we remember because you're the one the media made famous, but let's see what else is going on. Oh yeah, also the VA has is in the process of cutting. If you're an American soldier and you served your country well and you have medical benefits, well, guess what? You better get your ass to the VA, because that's the only place you got medical benefits. They're going to start rendering it to where the only place soldiers can go, or military personnel, retired or otherwise, can go for medical treatment is the VA. This will, of course, limit your treatment options, because the VA does not have access to things, as this one sergeant found out, to things like a chiropractor. I'm going to go on a tangent about that one on the walk, because I can fire that one from the hip. But I really shouldn't make all the gun puns right now, being that, you know, this is America, so in 24 hours we will have another shooting event happen. And it's never good, y'all, but at the same time, if we don't laugh about it, what fucking point is there? America's just become one of those places, y'all. If people are still traveling here, I don't understand you, but I wish you the best. Because it's a dangerous place, y'all. I mean, you might get picked up by ICE just for existing or speaking a different language. You might get shot in the marketplace just because you were in the wrong fucking marketplace, friend. It's not a good place no more, folks. And it could be good. It just won't be for several years. Oh, by the way, everyone who said he wouldn't make Ghislaine or whatever the fuck the bitch's name is, he wouldn't pardon the world's second worst pedophile in history. Never. Our president. Yeah, he did. She has now been moved from a maximum security prison to a minimum security prison. And y'all, when I tell you about this prison, let me tell you about this prison they got Ghislaine in. It has therapy. It has medical personnel. It has no barbed wire fencing. It looks more like an in-stage treatment facility than a prison. But that's why they call it Club Fed. It's where we send our celebrities when they behave badly. We can't send our celebrities to actual prison because, you know, they might get hurt. I mean, you gotta remember, Club Fed has soft feather-down beds and comforters. Real prison has a metal plate for you to sleep on and no pillow unless you fuck your roommates. I don't know. I've never been to prison, thankfully. I've been to mental institutions, and mental institutions ain't much better. You'll have a pad thinner than a camping mat to sleep on with a metal bunk bed. But at least your, you know, roommate isn't going to rape you, supposedly. Either way, just being as it is in America, Ghislaine is now in a minimum security prison. And of course, being at Club Fed, nobody's going to take out the pedophile. Never, never. And basically, she came out and she said, yep, Clinton was definitely in the files. Also, surprisingly, Mina Fiodor was not ever in the... Surprisingly, he didn't even like Epstein, y'all. They weren't buddies. Even though it's harder to find a picture of them not hugging than it is to find them, you know, That totally just cap, y'all. Totally cap. Trump didn't do it. And if you believe that, well, sir, I have some data to sell you. I have a bridge for you to buy over in Kansas. Y'all, I'm just saying that this, when I say that it's ridiculous, y'all, it's gone beyond parody at this point. I don't know how people are keeping up with this shit no more. I'll cover chiropractic on the walk-in when I'm picking up trash, because that's easier. Chiropractors aren't medics, they aren't doctors, it's not medicine. It was come up by a woo-woo person who thought that they got the knowledge from aliens and dead people, so maybe don't go get your spine popped by a not doctor. I mean, I know we've got one more clinic here as well, but it's like, y'all, they don't have a medical degree because medicine doesn't recognize back popping as a legitimate medical practice. Also, if you Google chiropractic or DuckDuckGo chiropractic or Yahoo chiropractic, the main thing you're going to get outside of these crazy people is how many people have been hurt through chiropractors, how many people have been paralyzed through chiropractors, how many people have died due to chiropractors. Just saying. That's your warning, y'all. Well, those are about all the facts I have for the minute. So let's see what else we got here on the Google app. On the news feed. We'll dig into any articles look interesting. Ooh, charges filed after family finds hidden cameras hidden in short-term rental. Bet you they won't succeed. Bet you they're not going to get their money from that. Loose goldfish in May Park sparks concern over aquatic invasive species. Y'all, I can't even. Okay, don't release your goldfish or any other wild species, any other species you buy into the wild, because they will automatically be an invasive or a dead animal. They weren't trained to be in the wild. They were trained for you to feed them and look at them and go, ooh, ah. Similar to if you dropped an American into the Australian outback or Dubai. Most Americans would get fucking lost and die because we have the navigational skills of turtles. Not sea turtles, box turtles. And, yeah. Don't be cruel to your animals. If you can't take care of them, find somebody who can, or go through the controversial but hard thing of putting them down peacefully. Because, and I hate to tell this to y'all, when you release your cat into the wild, not the cats that just go in and out as they please. For those, they live a pretty nice life if they can get in and out as they please. But if you're one of these that, oh no, Snowball just shit in the tub for the 100th time, we better release her into the wild where she can be free. Yeah, you just fed Snowball to coyotes. That cat died scared and terrified of coyotes eating it alive, where it did then get eaten alive. Don't let the stupid AI videos fool you, which, by the way, they are making the world dumber. And if you use AI, I am judging you for that. It does make you a dumber person. Don't do it. Because I can't tell you the number of people, it's less than 5, but still too many, that I've had to point out that the video of the cat that's standing on the front porch and the jaguar walks up to it, and then camera cuts and you see the cat riding on the jaguar's back. Y'all, too many people think that that's, like, real. And I'm not even kidding. I've had people argue with me saying, no, that did happen. It's right there in the video. Y'all, the world of animals is a wild, wild place. I'm not gonna lie. You're gonna see some strange shit you start to watch animals. But, y'all, this isn't Disney's Wild Adventure. Life is harsh. Life is cruel. And if you release an animal into the wild, you are just killing it slowly. Either have the gumption to murder it yourself, or take care of your animal better. I hear a baby getting into a sink. Either way, y'all, not much to say or do there. It's just how things be at the moment. I do hope they improve, but, you know, no telling if they will or not. Let's see what else we got while we're letting the phone charge up, and we got about a little under 30 minutes before I need to head out. Well, I would look into that one, but the whatever news broadcast that is won't let me. Okay, that might be interesting. Okay, another new Dexter series is coming out. Basically, the serial killer from Florida who then moved to Canada to raise a kid, well, to re-meet his son Harrison, who then had an HBO series like Young Dexter, but a little darker. Sorry, Paramount. Well, he's got another series coming to Paramount that is Dexter Resurrected. Y'all, don't get me wrong, I like Dexter, but it's... Can we really say we're surprised that people are choosing to kill these terrible CEOs and terrible people with violence when we honor violence, y'all? We love violence here in this country, but only the right kind of violence. We don't want to see violence against random people. We want to see violence against people we feel deserve it. And in that vein, that's why I'm saying, free Luigi Mangione. He's accused of a crime that he did not commit, and they're trying to string my brother up for no fucking reason. Y'all, here's the thing. I saw one of my favorite YouTube creators, Big Tug. I was hesitant to call him one of my favorites, but he is one of my favorites. He's a good fellow. But watching Big Tug's video on maybe bring back bullying. Not like beating down a kid for having glasses, but like when people say some wild shit like I love Hitler, maybe they should get punched in the mouth. Maybe that should be a punch in the mouth offense. Well, I'm going to take his expanse and I'm going to go in a direction he didn't plan on taking it. Maybe dead CEOs is just nature writing itself. Because you see, back in the day, we didn't have that. We had slums, y'all. They were there. But we didn't have that many. There were slums, but they were few and far between because if you put people in that scenario, eventually those people are going to fight back. And when they fight back, before it was just seen as, well, you put people in a bad situation, bad things happen to you, friend. That just sucks. Cops were lazy, but they also were lazy for both sides, not just for the poor side. And nowadays, nah, there's two different types of people. If you're rich, we should care very much when someone guns you down for your totally evil actions. I just disagree. I personally, hot take, nah, it's kind of fitting. The owner of BlackRock has currently been running a campaign where they buy up all the land and charge people excessive rates for very small plots of land. They're trying to prioritize all of it and buy all the homes. That way, much like in Monopoly, they get the whole board. And you and I, dear friends, get to suck an egg. So, maybe them getting gunned down isn't so fucking bad. Maybe they're not our bestest friends in the whole world and titans of industry. Maybe they're just assholes who got a lucky break and then took advantage of everyone around them. Give you another prime example. My boss, Mary, good lady, very sweet lady. Honestly, her and like 3 other employees are the only reason I'm still at the dead-end shit job I have. But, Mary, she has a boss. Because she is our head manager, the head of our store. But once again, she won't be in her store today, where we need her at, because she'll be up in Marietta, helping out another store that doesn't have a good employee record. Why do we have to lose our good manager because that manager wants to take a fucking break? Why is it that our restaurant can't just promote internally? Because, again, the whole reason you hire people and you have the chain of command is so Oh, all of my managers quit and left. Oh, well, dish boy, you're now the cook. Cook, you're now the head. Head, you're now the manager. Ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom. Everybody's happy, everything's set. I need wood. But we don't do that. That's not how things run. Instead, it's, well, we gotta have a manager come in from a different store because, like, you know, if we just promote from internals, then people will eventually think that this is a place to grow in. We might have to pay a living wage because there would be people that built, like, repertoire between each other. I'm just gonna have to fight this fucking skeleton, it looks like, and probably die, but let's give it a shot, chat. We who are about to die salute you. I hate this. My question is, oh, they got knocked off their horses while the sunlight started to affect them. And now we're about to get attacked by drown, because of course we are. Or just continuously shot. Why do the skeletons have sniper powers? I remember back when skeletons couldn't shoot over 4 blocks. Why can these jackasses shoot like over 12? Joking, I guess. I don't know. Just another one. This is the island of fucking skeletons, apparently. I don't mind it on this mode, because if I die, I can come collect my things again. I minded it on the hardcore mode because it felt like the game was picking on me. And yeah, y'all, that's a mental problem of mine. I take shit personally. I'm not one of those that just, oh, you're fucking me over because your boss told you to. No, no, no. I take shit personally. If you're fucking me over, I want to know why you're fucking me over. Not why your boss thinks it's the bee's knees to make money by exploiting your workers. Why you, my boss, think it's okay to fuck me, your employee, over. That's more or less what happened. And it happened in the most unhinged of ways. My boss, Mary, who is a head manager but still doesn't make enough money to afford, like, more than one vehicle, her husband dropped her off at work and she came into work. Her husband left to go to his other job because, again, even though she runs the entire restaurant, she does not make enough to be the only breadwinner in a household. He goes to, after dropping her off at work, goes home to take a nap and then get ready for his job, and he goes off to work. I don't know the full details, and even if I did, I wouldn't tell you because that's his business, but he gets hit, and he gets hit. Car's totaled out. It's a bad day. She explains to her boss that, hey, I might need someone to cover my store because I need to go purchase a vehicle if the insurance company doesn't send me a free rental. Because again, she lives a little bit further away than I do from the restaurant, but my God, would it be a much harder walk for her to go in than it would be for me. She lives in the city part, so it would be rough. But instead of, oh, well, since I own millions of dollars because I own 5 restaurants that basically serve a very niche community that will continuously buy my bullshit no matter how high I raise the prices, yeah, instead of going, well, fuck that, I'll rent you a car if your insurance doesn't cover it. We'll work it out in the wash. Did he do that? No, no, no. He showed up because if she hadn't shown up, he would have promoted either Donna to being store manager, or me if Donna had refused, or he would have just looked at rank and promoted out of rank and then fired Mary. We all know this. It's not a fucking secret. And so this woman who was scared for her husband, whose kid has just left the nest to go to college, another scary aspect in and of itself, and who's basically trying her best on a shoestring budget while her boss makes millions. Keep in mind the difference between a store manager and the store owner, or in this case the particular restaurant owner. Yeah, he makes around $100,000 to her $10,000. He makes $100,000 to my $1,000. And he's perfectly fine with that, because that's how America has taught us. Fuck you, I got mine, why didn't you try harder? And that's a terrible way to be, y'all. That's why I'm telling you, much like yesterday and much like today, I am doing it. If I go into work and Donna and the rest of them try to hostile work environment me, fuck them. I'll just leave. I already pull a lot of weight, and that's the strategic thing, y'all. When I go into work, I work on absurdism. I do my very, very, very best, no matter how pathetically I'm getting paid. Not because, you know, oh, well, one day they'll notice my bootstraps and my gumption and all. No, no, no. They won't. They don't give a fuck. I could drop dead at work, and their biggest concern would be getting my corpse out of the way so they could continue running the machine. The place I work at cares so little for me and the other co-workers that, again, we could die and we would be replaced like parts on a machine. You know, like all the machines they don't repair the parts on, because it doesn't matter how much we get burnt. The owner doesn't have to deal with those burns or with the poison gas coming out of a fryer that hasn't been changed in 2 days. He doesn't have to deal with the fact that our walls literally bleed venom like black goo, because we're not allowed to clean the hood vents. But the hood vents require cleaning and maintenance, and their cleaning and maintenance people for the hood vents come out, about once a month. The problem is we run the restaurant hot and heavy every single day, and those hood vents are filthy. Just carbon and condensed grease that'll eventually catch fire underneath the heat coming off the flat top, which will make the entire restaurant catch fire, and probably result in human casualties. Do the big bosses care? Absolutely not. Do our little bosses care? Very much so. But there's jack shit we can do about it. That's corporate America for you, friends. That's why it's bad, and that's why I beg of you. Do everything in your power. Everything in your power to fight and dismantle and destroy corporate America. Because, y'all, it's a fight. And if you don't realize it, well, they've already won. And yeah, we get that. I get that a lot from people. It's like one of my co-workers who I bitch about constantly, Liz, Mrs. Well, they need to treat me better, but fuck all y'all. Miss Liz? Yeah, fuck her. But she is very much of the belief that justice for thee and not, or justice for me and not for thee. She constantly tries to pretend, and that's what amuses me, because she doesn't realize how bald-faced it comes off. Because well, I don't care about my fellow co-workers, but my managers work so hard, I love you guys so much. Liz, they're not going to promote you. I don't even want a promotion. Really? Because you suck ass like a Hoover. I think you're trying to pull polyps out of their ass with how hard you're sucking it there, Liz. Well, they do work hard. And then that fucking dead laugh. Y'all, when I tell you she has a dead laugh, I'm not kidding. It sounds like you took a corpse and started electrifying it, and you're recording the sounds that come out of the corpse as it floats. The fuck are you doing? Did you break a rib? Do you find something hilarious, but your laughter pains you? But still, the main reason I don't like them is it's a very hostile work environment, and I can live in hostile work environments. I've had worse. But at the same time, don't expect me to go above and beyond for a hostile work environment. And yeah, y'all, I basically told him to stop bullying an overweight boy that was working there that also just wanted to do his job and go the fuck home. But Liz wanted to basically make him into the toady. And unlike Alan, he refused to be a toady. So they relentlessly bullied him until he quit. Now I just keep pointing out the fact that because he went to work at the factory Shaw, I make around $11 an hour. The kid that left is now making around $20 an hour starting out. 18 if he works the easy shift, because over at Shaw, if your job is just to sit at a computer and type in information, you get 18 an hour. If your job's to move the threads over on the carpet machine, you get around 20 an hour, because if you mess up, your finger becomes the carpet. I know, because that's what happened to one of my mother's fingers. It freaked me out as a kid. It was why I was scared to work in a factory for so long, because I saw what happened to her, and it was one of those. She went to the hospital after work. She couldn't even stop working. They just bandaged it with a goddamn, what is the wrap called? They just bandaged it with an ace bandage so she wouldn't bleed all over her desk in her workstation. So yeah, y'all, corporate America is not good. They aren't your friends. And if you get, like, one of my coworkers, what's his name? We'll call him Gavin. One of my coworkers, Gavin, who's a good kid and all, but yeah, he's been working with an upset stomach for like 3 weeks now. He probably has some kind of stomach virus. He's also your cook, so if you eat at our restaurant and you've gotten a stomach virus, you might know where I work at now. If you had a breakfast meal and then suddenly could not stop shitting your guts out, that was because our flat top operator has had a stomach virus for like 3 weeks. I have to come off my prep table to come help him because I gotta go, and then he just runs, because if he doesn't run, he's gonna have a brown stain. Why isn't that child at home, resting, getting some antibiotics for his clearly unstable gut? Oh, wait, that's right, because we're in America, and they don't care how many people they poison, so long as our bosses are still making a profit. That's where it's like, y'all, I used to make the joke that America was the Ferenginar Empire. So obsessed with profit and only profit. But we're not. Because even the Ferengis have business practices. It's soulless and evil and capitalistic, but they wouldn't allow a sick person to work sick because you would get the customers sick. It's not out of love of the customers, it's because, hey, if my customers can't stop shitting their pants, they're not going to come in for that big breakfast boy special. It was a self-preservation bit. And clearly that message was lost in the sauce. Because, yeah, I work with tons of sick people. At this point, it seems to be a flex for the old ones that, well, I came to work and I could barely breathe. And I was hacking up phlegm on everything. But I was still at work. Yeah, you shouldn't have been. If you're sick, you should stay home because, again, history lesson here, but who's heard of Typhoid Mary? Anyone know who Typhoid Mary is? She was a working gal. She worked for people as a nanny. And she's the key case of why you should wash your hands after you go into the bathroom, because after coming down with a bad case of typhoid, why, Mary kept feeding them babies, and she killed around 20 to 30 of her clients. It wasn't until after the second batch of dead children that they basically started observing Mary and making it to where she couldn't actually just, okay, I solemnly swear I won't go back into helping people or being a maid, to immediately go back into helping people and being a maid. But how did that happen? Well, because she had typhoid. Typhoid gets on the skin and into the nails, and the little cells can infect beyond that. And once you get typhoid, when you're older, you'll survive. It's a lingering illness. But if you're a baby or immunocompromised, yeah, Holmes, you're just going to die. You're going to die shitting your guts out. And that's what happened with Typhoid Mary. Tons of dead people, and eventually we had to, what's the word? She was exiled. She was exiled. Because we didn't know what it was. She was killing people with her nasty. And that's exactly what you've got going on right now in your food service industry. It's why I refuse to eat. If I don't make the meal myself, or I don't know personally the worker who did it, I just don't eat, because fuck that shit, yo. I don't want to get sick. Oh, and another things that are definitely going to make you sick, but definitely no one seems to be caring about it, RFK Jr.'s about to roll out the whole, we're getting rid of all vaccines, y'all. Woody tooty hooty. What I'm saying is we're resetting our world back to the 1800s. React accordingly. And, while I'm not going to say to go kill CEOs, remember, y'all, the coal miner rebellions happened because of shit like this. All of our ancestors that fought and died over hard shit, they did it so we wouldn't have to do this shit. And y'all just fought right back into that bullshit, so we gotta do it again. And understand, when we gotta do this again, not all of us will survive. In fact, quite a lot of us will die. But that's a sacrifice our government's willing to make. And we have to be willing to fight them. Because if not, well, again, I bring you the words of Maya Angelou, a much better, smarter, more clever person than I will ever be. If you don't say something, if you don't fight it, if you don't complain every single day, they'll kill you and say that you enjoyed doing it. I mean, I beg of you to look at the fictional tale of... what the fuck was his name? There was Paul Bunyan, there was Pecos Bill, John Henry. Look at the tale of John Henry, the black man who died to build the railroad, died against the industrial machine, and the only regret he had was that he had but one life to give to the capitalist lords that owned him. Yeah, y'all, don't be like John Henry. John Henry died for a stupid fucking cause that basically hurt his entire people. Those trains he helped lay down would also lead the slaves into the South, but also move children, or pretty women, from the South up to the North to be pleasure people. What I'm saying is if John Henry existed, which he did, and he's a legendary figure like Pecos Bill, Paul Bunyan, but if he did exist, he would have been a monster. He would have been a fucking capitalist monster. All of our old heroes would have been. Because that's what they were trying to instill in us. And their parents, much like our parents, were tired. And let's face it, in the early years, your kids were more of an insurance policy rather than children. And that's why I don't understand the loyalty people got to their parents in the old-timey ways, you know? The amount of old people that I have heard say this phrasing, "Oh, yeah, Dad did beat the shit out of me every time I did something wrong. Boy, I miss him." You miss your abuser? Why? "Oh, because he loved me. He said he loved me with a belt and a stick." It's like, again, that same co-worker, Galen, who's, "Well, my family taught me how to cook because I had to cook the family meals, and if I burned it, they'd beat the shit out of me. I only took one beating and I learned a lesson." It's like, that's not good, bud. It sounds like your family's a piece of shit. I wouldn't say that. Well, I would, but then again, I'm cursed with honesty. Alice! I love you. What you bitching about? What you yapping about? This is the Alice show? You want to be on the show? I need to get the camera rolling so you can do this for the camera. If you just gonna growl for none, then I'm just gonna ignore you, prissy princess. You want attention? Come here. Come here. Then come here. Come here then. Come here, silly pup. Then come here and get petted. You gotta get off the couch, you want attention. Like I said, y'all, this dog argues with me. She thought I was talking to her, so now she's acting all upset. She doesn't understand when I'm doing the show. And I forgot my place. My point is, y'all, don't be a fucking class traitor. And don't hero worship the fucking class traitors. Whenever, like, one of my co-workers, James, a very good fellow. Very good fellow. We disagree on a lot of things. But one thing I can't disagree with is that he's a good fellow. And, honestly, yeah, the other day when I worked with him, the other day being a few days ago because I'm Southern, he was very, very sick. I mean, very under the weather. Flushed, sweaty, palms weak, knees heavy. And he was like, "Well, dude, I think I just gotta go home, man." Like, "James, is that how loud you can talk right now?" "Kinda, yeah." It's like, dude, fuck this job. Go home. Get well. If you need help and I'm able to help you, let me know and I'll help you. For the record, most employers frown upon it, but it's actually completely legal and free for all of you and your fellow coworkers to get together and form a company pool to where if someone's sick, someone's injured, someone otherwise, you have the money there to back them up. Actually not illegal. They can't do a goddamn thing to stop you. You and all of your coworkers can get together and form a collective that will basically make it to where, oh, if the boss fires you, we'll give you about 3 months of this. Oh, if you get sick and need help, here it is. And all you got to do is have a system in place to where the people who take from it pay it back when they can. And there you go. You've got a worker-owned, worker-operated co-op that, yeah, you've got bosses that own the place. But if you've got enough money built up in your not union fund, let them fire you. Your entire group can basically move as a unit to a new place. Have different skill levels in that. I'm basically telling you how to make a union without calling it a union, y'all. But that's kind of what we got to do. Because the way the union busters work, if you say the word union in your job place now, you can get fired. For the record, I work in Georgia. If you don't work in Georgia, how's it feel to not be in a shitty place? Because where I work at, they can fire you for literally anything. I live in one of those very dumb right-to-work states, which basically puts all the power into the hands of the billionaire jackass class, and makes it to where if I mouth off and upset my bosses at work, they can straight up just fire me. Like today, if I go in there and they try to stay some shit, and I'm just like, well, y'all stiffing us on our pay for a day and a half about ended me in the fucking poorhouse. So I'm not exactly loyal to the cause. But if you're not loyal to the cause, just get the fuck out. Okay. And every time I do that, the management does the same thing. Oh, well, if you leave, you're fired. No, I'm not. You told me to leave. I'm following your direct order. Well, I didn't mean it. Now, why'd you say it, dumbass? Nah, I plan on keeping them to it. If my boss says leave, I leave. But understand, I'm not just going to go home and lick my wounds on my way out the door. I'm stopping at every place down the road that offers work, and I'll get me a new job. Because, again, I might be the biggest asshole you know, but I'm an honest asshole. And I do my very best to not be an asshole, but that's a work in progress. If nothing else, I can say I'm an honest asshole. I'm not going to be that guy. I don't know, y'all. It's the wind-up, it's the rant stream. If you live in America, maybe looking into making or purchasing yourself a bulletproof vest. And maybe if you're a CEO, think about changing your terrible, evil career choices. Oh, that was one of the other things I was going to talk about. Something I don't know enough about because the mere subject starts to turn my stomach. But, y'all, America has a real pedophile culture, and it's a real fucking problem. And, yeah, I mean to say it that way. There's this young lady who's been on the internet for quite some time, far longer than she should have. I think we should normalize not letting kids online. That's why I'm all for this Georgia school cell phone ban. But the main reason I'm against letting kids online, that they can get online and do the research, they can get online and do the fun shit, they can do things. But as far as like having their own channels, this young girl was coached by her older brother to basically become an influencer at the age of like 8 or 9. She got real... I do not like her content. I do not like her content at all. She is very, very of the millennial generation-ish time, but in a tiny, tiny Gen Alpha body. Well, I guess not Gen Alpha. But either way, Zoomer? Either way. She turned 18. And upon request of an exuberant number of her fans, with the air quotes on those, the literal moment she turned 18, midnight, the day before when she was still technically 17 adjacent, she started an OnlyFans and sunk in about $10,000 to $20,000. Now, do I think you can do this? Probably not. She had a long-standing culture, and again, a bunch of pedophiles really wanted her. And I hear, if you're saying this, y'all, go ahead and get rid of mine on your chat, because I think you're a nasty bastard. But I already hear you. But Travis, she was 18. Guys, that's meant to be a thing to keep high schoolers from getting in trouble when they fuck their sweethearts and get them knocked up. And you got that overly zealous Christian parent that thinks that they should get married, and both kids are like, what? Fuck that. No. Mago! Sir. Down. No. That is your sister? No. Leave her alone or I'm going to throw something at you. But again, she turned 18, and I personally think there needs to be a whole FBI watch list made of the gentlemen who basically flocked to her OnlyFans. Because again, don't get it twisted, y'all. If she had 19-year-old classmates or 18-year-old classmates who also wanted to see her OnlyFans, I'd still think that's a little gross, but not for me to judge, you know? Not really my bag. But the other side of that is just that. It wasn't 18 or 19-year-olds, guys. It was 30 and 40 and 50 and 60 and 80-something-year-olds. And they all wanted to see an 18-year-old see. And I just, guys, that's creepy and wrong. Well, no, it's not. She's 18. Yeah, fresh 18, and they're fucking old enough to be her father. And again, I don't know why I'm surprised. Look how much of the fucking brother, sister, and father-daughter content's out there. It's, maybe the system has always been broken, and I'm just waking up to it now. I know, dumb woke. He's one of those white folk. Y'all, it's not a bad thing. Stop buying into the hype that the oppressors want you to buy into. Because you will never be them, they will never be you, and they will never give a fuck about you. They don't even care about each other. That's how broken they are. That's why we can keep killing the billionaires, and the cops will keep responding as quickly as they can. The billionaires aren't sinking shit in together, are they? You don't see fucking Bezos or Musk or Billy going in there to fucking adjust things, do you? There's no massive movement to move them all to a safe place, is there? Even though they could totally just move because they have the money of God. Nah, they're just waiting to die. And that's what I'm saying. In a world of 3D printed guns, in a world of terrible people, don't shoot your fellow poor folks. Shoot a rich person if you must do gun violence. I mean, the ideal number is 0 gun violence. But I'm just saying, y'all, if you're gonna shoot folks, don't shoot your fellow people. Shoot the rich ones who deserve it. That's my hot take for the day. My other hot take is, if you're my age, which is 37 and such, and you're still looking up barely legal content, get fucking help. You're a goddamn pedo. You might not be an offending pedo, but you're still a fucking pedo. Don't be a fucking pedo. Be better. Do better. Let's see. Talked about the shooting. I will go more over chiropractors later. I'm going to try to take notes today at work, y'all, but hell, we're short-staffed as fuck, so y'all know how that's going to go. Thanks to one of the... I was going to go into more detail of this, and I think I'll go into more detail when I do my walk. But thanks to one of or two of the lending companies I have, who noticed that they depleted my bank account into the negative, which defeats their purpose. I also found out one's German-based and one's India-based, so go figure. Other countries are nicer to Americans than Americans are. But yeah, they basically, the logic there is, hey, if we don't leave you with any money or leave you in the negative, you're never going to pay us back. And they can still string me along indefinitely because I only had like 3 or 4 payments left. And whenever they have to do this, they basically take out a chunk and then put it back. They put back half, and I only get accredited for half of the half they put back. Or half the half they took. The other half is collateral, or whatever you want to call it. And yeah, I'm probably going to be indebted to them forever because I work a dead-end middle job, and even though I work all but 2 days out of the week, 3 days out of the week, I want to say, I still, and even on those days, I'm out here making content, I'm researching, I'm trying to do my charity work. Guys, at no point in the past 6 months have I had a break. And by that I mean a break. If I'm not doing this, I'm doing something that's charity work. If I'm not doing this or charity work, I'm at work. If I'm not doing any of those things, I'm either helping out with the animals here at the house, or I'm helping other wilder animals, like working on the cat shrine. Also stand by, because if I don't just yap all morning and I get my short done, I've got lots of fun little wild animal pictures, and I finally got a quick pic of one of the animals that's been coming to our cat shrine, and he's a cutie. I'm going to edit the picture in my thing, that way hopefully I can get it to where it does the whole zoom in effect. But yeah, he's a little cutie. Either way, I hope y'all have a good day. I ended on the animal note because, yeah, dark subjects, I should put trigger warnings, but I don't quite know how to do those yet. And I feel that putting trigger warnings in things makes YouTube immediately flag them for nobody. And y'all, I still need views. If you really want to help me, share the video, like the video, subscribe. I know I upload daily, so maybe don't keep the notifications on unless you just really want to, and I'd appreciate it, but I get it. And yeah, that's about all of it, y'all. This is the Collective. Eventually, when y'all choose to play with me, or if you get the PlayStation Premium and can, this will be our server. I don't die immediately on this one, so yay, we can actually build some cool, massive shit. And tell you what, for every subscriber I have, all 130 of you at the moment, last I checked,